welcome to my first live video back in my kitchen. It's been so long. Welcome back if you're tuning in. If you haven't seen me before, this is Sharissa Bradley. I run the company Independence Through Nutrition, and every week I just want to tell you, well, as often as I can, any kind of little notes that I think about during the day. So today I had this awesome meeting with my naturopath, and I felt so motivated to come and tell you guys about it because she was asking me, I recently had this little rash that came up on my face, and she was asking me if I had changed anything. And I'm the nutritionist, right? So I know all about the food and what I should be doing and what I shouldn't be doing. And it struck me that I hadn't really even thought about what this rash could be coming from my foods. But I have recently been a little bit more stressed, a little bit more anxious about things that are going on in my life, so I've been eating a little bit more sugar. Specifically, I've been eating like a gluten-free cookie here and there. I've been upping my fruit intake at night when I'm really like, I need a little bit of sugar. I've been eating kiwis like they're going out of style, and mangoes, and everything is fresh now, so I just can't seem to keep my hands off of it. So I have increased my sugar intake a little bit, and I really hadn't thought that it would make that much of a difference until today when we started talking about stress and how that might be affecting me in other ways too. So I wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about stress because it's interesting that we think of stress as something that's coming at us or something that's happening around us, or like these things are causing stress, but stress is actually an internal thing. So stress is a response to something that's happening in your environment. And the other misconception that we have about it, so it's not coming from outside, it's coming from inside, right? It's a physiological response that's happening when something is happening around us, but it's our perception. What does that mean? So we've got this stress buildup, but what we also don't think about is that our body doesn't perceive any other kinds of stress differently. So what that means is if your kids are making you crazy, getting them off to school in the morning like they were this morning, getting lunches packed and everything ready for school, that was stressful. So I was feeling that physiological stress response. On my way to school, there was traffic and I was driving, and I got to the drop-off line and realized that we only had 4 minutes to get through a line that typically takes about 15 minutes. So then again, I've got that stress, that physiological response to external stimuli. So something is going on and it's making me feel this way. And then I came home, and instead of making myself a good breakfast, I drank my 4th cup of coffee for the day, and I just was kind of pushing through. At that point, I did kind of take myself into check and like, okay, I gotta make something real for breakfast, and I made some scrambled eggs and kind of forced myself to get some real food in. But what we don't think about is we know that the stress is coming from the kids and getting everybody to school and getting everything to go on time, and we know that there's stress from the traffic and everything outside of your life. Maybe it's a boss, maybe it's something else that's going on, but what we don't think about is food and the things that we put in our body actually stresses us exactly the same way. So it could be that you're having stress, external stress, but there is this one stressor that you can actually control. So we can't control whether or not the kids are gonna make us crazy in the morning, or our husband or spouse or whoever it is, or the boss is gonna be cranky or not gonna be cranky. We can't control any of those things, but we can control whether or not we put stress on our body with our food. So what I was doing, which is really bad, just as bad as eating too much sugar, was I was skipping meals. I was getting too stressed and too anxious and getting too many things done. And so my naturopath had asked me, well, how many meals are you eating? How much are you eating? What are you eating? And when are you eating it? And I realized that I have gone a couple of days here and there without eating my lunch or forgetting to eat breakfast. And that's unlike me. And because that's unlike me and unlike my personality to do that, my body is feeling stressed because of that. And stress is not perceived any other way. I know I've said that before, but all of those different stressors in your life, your body can't tell the difference at all. All it knows is that there's a stress coming in at somewhere, some point, and that's what it's feeling. And those physiological responses are always going to be the same. It's that fight or flight response. So whether or not you're being chased by a mountain lion, getting stuck in traffic when you've got only 5 minutes to get to work, or skipping a meal, your body doesn't know the difference at all. And it can't tell whether or not you're being stressed because of one thing or the other. So you've got to take it into consideration that stress is coming from external as well as things that we can control. And so we can't not being able to control any of those things, any of the other environment. We can't control how the morning is going to go. We can't control how any of it is going to work out. But we can control what we put inside of our body and whether or not that's hurting us. And that's not control, portion control, I can't have this, I can't have this, but really understanding that every single calorie that you put into your body is necessary, and every single thing that we're doing is for a purpose. And by starving our body of that purpose, we're also stressing it. By doing too much of it, we're stressing it. By doing the wrong things, if you know they're the wrong thing for you, that's another stressor. So we have to be considerate and conscious of the fact that stress, and when we're feeling stressed, right? When you ask somebody, how are you doing today? Well, I'm really stressed out. There's a lot of things in your life that you're not going to be able to control, and that external things are some of those things. But the things that we can help our body with to feel less stressed is by physically putting less stress on the body with food. So we can do that, and believe it or not, if you're taking good care of your health and what you're putting in, you're going to get the maximum amount of energy out. You're going to feel good all day long. You're going to have more energy, and that's going to help relieve some of those other stressors in your life because you'll be able to deal with them better. If your adrenal glands or your adrenaline, your adrenal glands control the adrenaline, are pumping all day long because it's not getting the nutrients that it needs, you're not going to be able to deal as well with those things that you can't control. So if you can get yourself and your body a little bit more balanced with the adrenaline and with your adrenal glands, when you do have these things that come up, like you're late for work or the traffic or you don't know what to pack for lunch, some of those things, you'll be better able to deal with that because your body won't be under so much pressure. So anything that we can do to kind of alleviate some of that pressure, we want to make sure we do that. And there isn't a lot that we can control, like our family is one. We can't do anything about what our family is going to do, but you can take really good care of yourself. And especially during those times where you feel extra overwhelmed, extra stressed, extra pressure, those are the things that get kicked off first, right? Our health, our personal care, that's going to get thrown out the window. But if instead we focus in on how can we take care of the things that we can control, you're going to be much better capable and much better able to deal with some of those other problems down the road. So I wrote some things about this in my blog this week. That's going to be coming out tomorrow. So if you want more information about that, I put some other stuff in the blog about it and some links to some good foods that can help you feel really good. This month is Mental Health Awareness Month, so we're all about mental health here. And the last two blog posts were just to tell you, hey, we all have been there, you're in your shoes. And then this last one says, hey, there's actually some foods that can help benefit you when it comes to being stressed and feeling that way too. So to help calm you down, help to get all the nutrients that you need. And then you can go be Superman, Superwoman in the rest of your life because your body will be so much more adapted, so much more adjusted, and you can actually have the energy and the power it takes to get through the rest of your day. So I really hope this helps in some way. If you guys have any questions about anything, make sure you drop them in the comments. I'm going live tomorrow for my Q&A session. That'll be a weekly 10 a.m. Friday morning on the Facebook page, answering any and all questions that you have throughout the week. Again, thanks for watching. I hope you got a little nugget out of this, and I'll see you next week.